All right, everybody, welcome back. Good evening now. We are getting near the end of the day, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up our Pro Football Focus series for the year. It's been fun looking at these charts every week. I know that Pro Football Focus isn't for everybody. I know some people don't trust it, but they're a good resource. They do provide a lot of good information. Some of the stuff they may end up concluding is not going to really line up with reality, but I still think it's worth looking at every week, although I will say this week, this is going to be tough. This video in particular is going to be hard because there's no other way to put it. The defense for Seattle yesterday was completely dominant, and then New England had like 250 yards in garbage time. And it's just one of those things where Pro Football Focus, they don't seem to really have a garbage time filter. So some of these are not really going to line up with what we saw last night. So we got to roll with it. All right, guys, hold up because my friends at Sleeper are introducing some new features, and I want to tell you guys about them before we go any further. Sleeper is launching Team Picks, a new prediction market product. So now, on top of all the over-unders you can pick over on their Sleeper app, you can now pick on games. For instance, if you take a look to my left on the screen right now, you can see you can make a pick on the Super Bowl. They also have some bonuses available on over-unders for players. So there's now way more stuff you can get up to over on Sleeper. Get on over there before the Super Bowl, and don't forget to use the promo code SBN for a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. And don't forget to utilize the free $20 entry that you get just for making an account. So the Super Bowl is almost here. Make sure you get on Sleeper and have some fun with sports. All right, so we're going to see some stuff here that isn't really going to match up with what is in your mind. Just understand that Pro Football Focus, at least based on what I'm seeing here, is not doing a very good job filtering out the trash yards. So they're looking at what New England did in that fourth quarter as being meaningful when we all know it was not. So just understand that now. So not a surprise though. And look, it's easy when you only play 5 snaps, and on one of those snaps you get an incredible sack, but Riley Mills is easily our number 1 defender. 5 snaps, 1 sack. He also had another quarterback hurry, by the way. I didn't even notice that. But I mean, it's pretty darn easy to catch attention when you only take the field a few times and you do that much when you're out there. So, I mean, that's awesome. But yeah, Riley Mills number 1. Kobe Bryant, not necessarily somebody a lot of people might have picked here, but he's number 2, 79 overall. They grade him well in all areas. Interesting, right? It kind of proves that he was just out there solidly and reliably doing his job from snap to snap. Byron Murphy, one of his better games of the year on Pro Football Focus. Remember, they don't really like him that much. They don't give him much love. They graded him well in run defense, tackling, pass rush, 76.1 overall. Really, really disruptive in the middle for the defensive line. And yeah, it's he earned it. He worked hard to earn this one. Boye Mafe, man. Boye Mafe, haven't seen this in a minute. And yes, I know he didn't have a sack or anything, and I know some people kind of criticize players like Boye Mafe for being, some people call them like Pro Football Focus merchants because they get good PFF grades and then don't make any big splash plays, but I actually did think he showed up in a positive way in this game, so not against it. Mike Morris, 70, played 3 snaps. I think they were all in garbage time, so I'm not gonna read a ton into that, but I did notice him on 1 play, so that's cool. Josh Jobe, after a season where the fan base has been beating him up, really good game from him. Leonard Williams, solid work as well. I know he didn't make any big monster over-the-top plays, but graded well, held up well in general against the run. And then we start getting to stuff that doesn't smell right. Derek Hall had 2 sacks, some other quarterback hurries, forced the basically game-flipping fumble. Like, the game was still somewhat interesting until he forced that fumble. And the fumble put them in a bad situation. Now, the tackling, I understand that that's always going to drag you down a little bit, but very hard for me to believe that Derek Hall was barely above replacement level in that game in terms of his value. when he's got 2 sacks and other quarterback hurries and force the game-flipping fumble. Nicky Manwari, I know, again, tackling is a problem here. I know he didn't make a big impact as a blitzer in this game, but you look at how dominant this defense was, and a guy like Nicky Manwari, you can't tell me he was barely above replacement level. And maybe the most offensive one on this whole list, Devin Witherspoon. I mean, a sack, 2 hits on Drake May, including one that forced the game-ending interception. Yeah, I'm not feeling that, and he wasn't leaky in coverage. I don't even think he was leaky in garbage time, but even if he was, like, it doesn't mean anything, and maybe this is something Pro Football Focus needs to work on a little bit. Maybe this is something they need to reconsider here because those yards in the fourth quarter, most of them, they didn't mean anything, so why should they be held against anybody? Like, is it our fault that we got up so far ahead that the game was over midway through the fourth quarter? I don't know. There are other stats out there that do a good job filtering out garbage time like DVOA, but it does seem to me that this is producing some questionable results. Ernest Jones below replacement level because pass rush and coverage wasn't great, even though again a lot of that coverage stuff was in garbage time. I think he gave up one big completion that wasn't garbage time. Drake Thomas not graded very well, which I mean, he wasn't on the field a ton. Okay, I can kind of get behind that one, maybe. Maybe the moment was a little too big for him to play at his best. Woolen, also not so great. That one I kind of get because the touchdown was rough. But other than the touchdown, I didn't notice anything all that egregious out there. He had a penalty, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know. It was, I didn't think it was that bad. DeMarcus Lawrence, below replacement level? I don't think so. Like, I know he didn't have a sack or anything, but he was providing pressure and he was holding up against the run, doing his job. No, Chenin Owosu makes the game-sealing pick six. And look, I know that that play is not a traditional coverage interception, but I guess game-sealing pick sixes in the Super Bowl aren't worth what they used to be. I don't know. Jaron Reed, pretty poorly graded here. Okay, maybe. Like, I'm not going to say he had a big impact, but Julian Love, who had the interception that I'm referring to a few different plays as like the play that ended the game, but like the fumble felt like it ended the game. The Julian Love interception essentially ended the game, and the Nwosu pick six literally ended the game. And then, of course, the time running out was the factual end of the game. But I mean, Julian Love, again, man, it's just all garbage time, but this reflects poorly on him in a way that doesn't match up with reality. Like, the guy sealed the game with an interception, more or less, and he's getting punished with his grading because of what happened when the game was already decided. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. And I don't have a great solution for it, but there are stats out there that filter out garbage time pretty darn well. Anyway, missed tackles. Seahawks tackled pretty damn well today. Missed tackles. The only guy who missed 2 tackles was Eman Wari. He missed 2. Hall missed 1. Spoon missed 1. Jones missed 1. Drake Thomas missed 1. Love missed 1. And Love's missed tackle was pretty big. That was on the first drive of the game on 3rd down. That would have forced a 3 and out. Instead, New England kept the drive going. That was the most notable missed tackle of the game to me, but obviously, early in the first quarter, not a big deal. So, tackling was pretty good overall in that game. So, yeah, solid. But again, does it match up with what we saw? I think the answer is very clearly no. This does not reflect the dominance we saw when the game was in question yesterday. So, I understand why it's here, but I don't think it's right. All right, run defense, Ernest Jones with 3 run stops. He led the way. 2 from Josh Jobe. I'm going to say it again. People have been beating up on Josh Jobe this season, and I kind of understand why, but Josh Jobe is a good player. If we lose Woolen this offseason and bring back Jobe, and Jobe is a starting corner for us next year, I can live with that. He's not great. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to get beat. He is not a bad player. He's not. He's just not as good as the best players in the league. And we have Witherspoon, who makes Jobe look bad, but that doesn't mean Jobe is bad. Jobe is a good player. DeMarcus Lawrence, 2 run stops as well, cranking it up, doing his job. holding up against the run. Jaron Reed with a run stop as well. We had a lot of runs. New England had a lot of runs in this game for like 4 or 5 yards where it wasn't like a stop, but it was still a reasonable play that put the defense in decent position to finish the finish the drive successfully, even though it was not a terrible run by the other team. And I mean, we watched that game. They did not have a lot of success on the ground. They grinded out a couple of half decent plays, and that's it. And keep in mind, we lived with our defensive backs on the field most of that game. Drake Thomas was on the field less than half of our plays. So we did not go heavy at all, and we still stuffed the run. Pass rush. As far as Pro Football Focus tells it, it was great. I don't know what Pro Football Reference will say later this week, but Pro Football Focus, look at all these pressures. Now, some of them are soft, but a lot of them aren't. And the key is, when we got to Drake May and actually hit him, we made it count. 6 sacks, and we had a quarterback hit that sealed the game with the interception by Nwosu. So leading the way was Byron Murphy, of all people, with 5 pressures, including 2 sacks, playing from that nose tackle spot. He also recovered the fumble. He could have been Super Bowl MVP, man. Derek Hall and Uchenna Nwosu and DeMarcus Lawrence each had 4. Derek Hall, obviously, with the 2 sacks. DeMarcus Lawrence was like a 10th of a second away from a strip sack, but May was just barely able to get it out. So good game from him. Nwosu, I mean, the issue with Nwosu is he just can't finish plays. He is still valuable as a guy who can get some pressure, but and he does hold up against the run decently, I think, but the inability to finish plays, that's I think something that he's lost that he can never get back because of all the injuries he's had in his career. So to me, that's not coming back. 3 pressures from Witherspoon, who had an incredible game on the blitz, obviously. Boye Mafe, 3 pressures. Leonard Williams, 3 pressures. I know not big splash plays from those 2 guys, but I thought they were effective. Riley Mills, of course, my goodness, 2 pressures, including a sack. And the sack he got was one of the best sacks that you'll ever see anybody get. Then we picked up a little bit from Reed and Eman Wari with a couple of pressures. Yeah, man, it was good. It was really, really good. And May was never comfortable in that game. And a lot of our pressure was quick, too. It's not like Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy got pressured a lot 3 weeks ago. But the thing is, Brock Purdy got pressured a lot because he held on to the ball forever and was scrambling around buying time in the pocket and would throw it once the pressure got home. May, not so much. So really, really happy with the pass rush. They needed one more game worth of gas, and they had it. All right, the coverage grades are going to be a mess because of garbage time. I'm going to say that right now. Like, okay. Kobe Bryant did not get targeted once this whole game. By the way, Kobe Bryant had an incredible postseason in terms of coverage. They never picked on him at all. And if there was a compelling argument to bring Kobe Bryant back next year, it's probably that. Like, that guy's become a guy that teams stay away from. Josh Jobe, 8 targets, 3 catches, 11 yards. Phenomenal. Amazing work by Josh Jobe. And I want to hammer this home again because if we lose Woolen and bring back Jobe, Jobe can do the job. Jobe is a good player. And he was one of our better players yesterday in the Super Bowl. Don't forget that. Nicky Manwari, 7 targets, 5 catches, 46 yards. Not the best, not the worst. But again, how many of those catches were meaningful? I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch. I'd have to look at what Pro Football Focus is looking at. I can't tell you exactly how much of it was garbage time, but I know some of it was. So, I mean, they do actually still grade him fairly well, but as you can see with some of these other guys, they're not necessarily giving people that kind of a break. Reek Woolen, 5 targets, 4 catches, 77 yards. Now, the touchdown that he gave up was, in my view, not yet quite garbage time, so I'm okay with dinging him for that, although I don't think he played that ball terribly. He just got beat. It happens. But again, a lot of this stuff I know came when the game was decided, so I'm not holding it against him. Maybe the penalty, but even the penalty was garbage time, right? That penalty was with like less than a minute to go, so what is there to say, really? It's like one of those things where I don't even know how to take even the kind of sort of bad stuff here seriously. DeMarcus Lawrence, 1 catch, 13 yards, edge rusher, so whatever. Kind of a fluky thing. Witherspoon, 5 for 5, 37 yards. Not great, but again, I just need to know when those catches happened, and right now I don't. Ernest Jones, same thing. 5 catches, 5 targets, 49 yards. That sounds bad, right? That sounds like a problem. But when you see how little Drake May had done in the first 3 quarters of that game, it's hard to believe that we were really getting any of it was really a problem. Drake Thomas, 2 targets, 1 catch, 8 yards. That's good, but for some reason he gets graded really poorly. Nwosu somehow ends up with a terrible coverage grade, even though no completions and the pick 6 that sealed the game. So somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. I don't know. And Julian Love, who had the interception that really made it clear we were going to win that game, 7 targets, 54 yards, 3 receptions, somehow ends up with the lowest grade. So it's confusing. I know. I'll try to parse through it at some point this offseason, but it's just one of those things where I think they had like 60 yards passing before the fourth quarter started. Something like that. It was really low. By the way, the touchdowns they gave up, Woolen gave up a touchdown, and they gave the other touchdown to Witherspoon, but honestly, no one was in coverage on the Witherspoon touchdown, so they could have given it to almost anyone, it felt like. All right, so that's it for the coverage stuff. When you take a look at the coverage versus receiver stuff, one thing that became clear, one thing that's kind of clear to me is we didn't fear any matchups. We were just content to play our base defense and live with the results. So you will see Josh Jobe lined up against a bunch of different players. Nicky Manwari lined up against a bunch of different players. Julian Love, same thing, lined up against whoever. Didn't seem like we were concerned about any one of their receivers, which makes sense, especially when you look at the way that game ended. Special teams, nothing too over the top here. Drake Thomas was actually our top graded special teamer. I don't know where Knight is, but he should be higher, right? For some reason, Tyrese Knight is not here, even though he was the guy who laid the, or he's here, but he's ranked very lowly. He was the guy who laid the boom on that one kick return. So he should be higher, but whatever. So Tyrese Knight, I'm sorry, Drake Thomas is the guy who stands out here. Connor O'Toole's up here a little bit. Couple guys at the bottom. Okada. We did actually miss 4 tackles on special teams in this game, which is not great, but not a ton to really shout out here. Jason Myers was incredible. Michael Dixon was incredible. And special teams, man. They're a reason why we're here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. And by the way, Michael Dixon got a 61.7 on punts, which is absurd. Somebody fix that immediately. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. See you on Twitch later.